All right, what is up, hustlers? Welcome into today's video. Today we are going to be diving into one of the hottest launches upcoming across the entire Arbitrum network, and honestly something that I've been super excited for months. We've talked about this one on my crypto banter shows. All the guys in my NFT project, we got involved in this very early, and the SpartaDex Lockdrop just began today. I'm going to go over exactly what that is and how you can qualify for the SpartaDex token airdrop and kind of the variables to potentially maximize that airdrop. And I'll give you a complete overview of this ecosystem because I think this is going to be one of the hottest projects across the entire Arbitrum network. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Like the video down below if you enjoy the content, if you're bullish on Arbitrum, and if you're bullish on SpartaDex more specifically, and subscribe to the channel for more every single week here on the Hustlepedia channel. We will be doing some videos here and there going forward, so be sure to subscribe, be sure to like. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So what is SpartaDex for those who might not really be familiar? Well, SpartaDex is a gamified DEX with yield. So it says gamified yield, and this is because you can level up your land plots to maximize your yield. You can get into the LPs, and it truly is an ecosystem that allows you to monetize your time and also get involved with the liquidity. Play the game, develop your hometown along with yield from your LP. The more you achieve, the more profits you can potentially earn. The whole progress is being saved in an NFT of your polys, and those are your land plots. So as you see here, here's some of the lore, how you can begin. You can just mint a free polys NFT, provide $100 of liquidity, but that's not exactly, we're not to that stage yet. We're going to go over exactly how you can get involved today in the lock drop. So what are some of the different features in this ecosystem? Obviously, there are the land plots, which you can level up to kind of gamify your yield. There are NFTs, so all the value locked in the NFTs. It's up to the player to decide to keep it or continue to develop their own game world or sell the NFT on the market for a large return. So you can opt to sell those NFTs if you so choose. There is the Senate, which is going to have the LP staking, the SAS, which is, it's not only allows you to vote, but also allows you to provide additional incentives that come from micropayments, DEX fees, claiming fees, bridging fees, and unstaking fees. And there is going to be governance votes every single month. There will be a swap that you can kind of go in there and take advantage of. There's micropayments, there's resources markets, so you can get resources for your polys and your game. Anything that you need across the ecosystem, you'll be able to take part in that. But the one thing that is around the corner, and also one thing you have to take a look at when you look at SpartaDex, is the Sparta pad. There is the launch pad. They had a very successful launch with another project that I'm super bullish on. That is GameSwift. So their GameSwift IDO sold out in 48 seconds. So it was really impressive. And I think the reason why I'm very bullish on this as an Arbitrum play underneath a gamified DEX. So what does this remind me of? This reminds me of DeFi Kingdoms. DeFi Kingdoms had all-time highs of $20+ back here. And even though the token has taken quite a bit of a hit, really, they're still building and they still have a hell of a community. They have tons of liquidity locked onto their platform. And we'll talk about the liquidity side of SpartaDex here in just a second and how you can get involved in the potential airdrop. Not even potential, it is 100% confirmed that's coming up right around the corner. But this is what we are most excited about at this moment in time, is the full launch of the platform first and foremost, so we can get some LPs working for us. We can get the SpartaDex token in our hands as well. And you can see the tokenomics here, 50% to the ecosystem rewards, 13% to the team, 2% to advisors, 8% to the DAO, 7.5% to development, 4.5% to marketing, 2.5% to angel round, 1% to the DAO maker sales, 2.5% is operational costs, 6% is for the lock drop. This is what we will be talking about today. And then the 1%, which is 100% lock drop on the TGE. And then 2% of the total supply goes out to an airdrop. So let's go ahead and jump into the lock drop. This is the biggest event that they've had underneath their ecosystem so far. And this is a way that if you don't own their Genesis NFTs, so Sparta NFTs, the SpartaDex Spartans, they qualify for this airdrop immediately. So based on your rarity, you're going to get a set amount of Sparta tokens airdropped out to your wallet. But let's say you don't have an NFT for Spartans and you want to potentially get involved. And let's say you're a DeFi fan, or you're just a big fan of something like a DeFi Kingdoms, for example. This is another play where you can go in, you can lock up liquidity. So in DeFi, what you can do is you have USDT, USDC, you have ETH, Arbitrum, whatever. You can combine these tokens together and you can actually then stake them, typically for yield. But what you are doing on the Lockdrop phase here is there are whitelisted pools, and you'll actually be able to go in there, lock your liquidity, and then you qualify for more of an airdrop of the SpartaDex tokens. So you just move, what you'll do, you'll go down here, and you will click lock, or you'll click provide on whichever one you want to get into. So there's 5 eligible pools. There's ETH, so wrapped ETH, USDC, wrapped ETH, Arbitrum, USDT, USDC, wrapped Bitcoin, wrapped ETH, and USDC G Swift. So I did a little bit of a test earlier, and I just locked up a couple $100 here. And as you can see, they've already had 4 million locked up here in the protocol on day 1 of the lock drop. So that's super impressive as far as the TVL goes on day 1. And as you see here, I'm currently just off of this test, for this video, for me to be able to show you guys exactly how to get involved. I've already qualified myself for an estimate of 2,258 Sparta tokens. And you can actually go down here and you can adjust what the potential price is going to be based on market cap. So if this thing's a $9 million market cap, which honestly, given the utility behind the platform, given the community sentiment, the amount of liquidity inside the Arbitrum ecosystem, I think that this is definitely realistic. But even if you go down to, like a $2 million market cap, this could potentially qualify me for about $1,000 for providing $440 in liquidity, right? Just as, just a test run here. But as you see here, it gives me that 14.5% boost on that airdrop. And that's key. So we've made it very simple, and you'll get the boost of up to 15% if you lock it on day 1. So this video right here is posted on day 1 of the lock drop. So you still have a little bit of time to do that. You can lock your liquidity in there for up to 2 to 52 weeks. So if you did look, I locked this one for 52 weeks. So I did the maximum, it's just a couple $100, and I threw it in there, and we're going to lock it up for 52 weeks. And that's how I got that eligibility for up to 2,258 Sparta tokens for just that $440 liquidity position that we threw in here on day 1, right? So that kind of just gives you that test run to see about how much rewards you can get just for a few $100. I think the risk reward there is very, very solid. So I wrote up a thread here that'll kind of explain it step by step. So the NFTs, we gave this call very early on Banter and in my NFT project, 0.06 mint, and now it's 3x from mint price. The token, could it do a 10x? Could it do a 20x? That's left to be seen, and we're going to have to see kind of the sentiment across the Arbitrum community, etc. But I think that SpartaDex has done a fantastic job of actually garnering that community sentiment, and I think it is a legitimate project that could have some major traction in the bear and especially in the bull run. I think the Sparta token could do very, very well. So the lock drop is currently a 10-day event consisting of 2 phases. The first phase began today, and it will end on the July 30th, and then it runs a few more days up to August 3rd, I believe is the case here. So the LP pools have 1,500,000 Sparta tokens to distribute. These are these 3 pools here, and then 750,000 Sparta tokens on both of these pools. The vesting on this, you're going to get 50% of those SPARTA tokens on day one. Token generation event, you're going to get those SPARTA tokens immediately. And then after that, there is 3 million SPARTA at TGE, is 60% of the initial circulating supply. The earlier you lock, the more of a boost you're going to get on your liquidity. On July 30th, phase 2 will begin, lasting up until August 3rd. In phase 2, anyone can lock USDC.E, while participants from phase 1 and airdrop recipients can choose to lock their SPARTA tokens. The lock duration for the second phase is fixed at 26 days, and you're going to qualify yourself for an additional million SPARTA tokens. So the rewards for this phase 2 is 1 million SPARTA, which is about 20% of the additional supply. And this is 100% available to you at TGE after that lockup. So you're going to be able to have those rewards straight away. And whether you lock 1 or 2 assets, everything will be proportionally exchanged for LP SPARTA USDC. So in addition to the lock drop, LP from both phases will earn daily rewards from the ecosystem rewards. So the lock drops, as I say here, is one of the biggest events on Arbitrum. And, I think that this is hands down, as far as Arbitrum gamified, gamified yield, etc. I do think that this is one of the major events that we've seen across the year and so far across the chain. And we've seen a lot of success. Camelot is a DEX on Arbitrum, and early stakers, early lock drop, early liquidity providers there did do really well. The yields were fantastic. Some of the assets that appreciated over time. So this is kind of a similar play. It's a DEX, but it has those feels of like a DeFi Kingdoms to me. And DeFi Kingdoms at its all-time high, this market cap, let's just see here. It's not tracking the market cap here, which is disappointing. But this was, I believe, it was a $1 billion fully diluted market cap at one point, as I was an early participant in DeFi Kingdoms. And DeFi Kingdoms, I also did really well, especially whenever it bridged over. There were some new tokens in the ecosystems, etc. So I think that this event, if you're a fan of the yield side of gaming, and I got to say this, right? In Web3 games, there's 2 prongs. There's games with gameplay that aren't going to have high rewards, that are just focusing on the game and have Web3 elements. And there is always going to be a place for games with yield. Stuff like Axie Infinity, which had a lot of yield. Stuff like currently the Heist, which has really good yield on Solana. This is going to be a yield style game, but I think that these are not going away. The DeFi Kingdoms, the SpartaDexes of the world, I think are here to stay. And this is a way to get a piece of a pretty big TGE coming up here for the SpartaDex token. And all it takes is a few, you could put less than this and you're still going to qualify yourself. You could put $100 in. And if you can do without that $100 for 50 weeks, let's just say 52 weeks, you can just put $100 away. And you can do this by using USDT, USDC. So that's the example that I used here. You would still qualify yourself for over 500 SpartaDex tokens. Let's just say in the bull run, this is just an example. In the bull run, if this token hits let's just be a little pessimistic here, $50 million market cap. So it's about 2.5x, 3x from where DeFi Kingdoms is valuated today. So DeFi Kingdoms valuation is 18.9 million on the fully diluted market cap. Let's say in the bull run, and it could get there before this, but I'm just going to be pessimistic on these predictions because I'm very optimistic on the platform, but I will also give you realistic examples. I think 40 million market cap is super doable here for this token, especially in the long haul and in the bull markets. For certain, I think this would hit these market cap levels. And as you see here, if you just qualified yourself for, let's just say my example, if you put $100 in, you would get about 500 SpartaDex tokens. If those tokens are valued at $12, then you just came out with $6,000 off that $100. For me in this scenario, if I got a $12 Sparta token eventually for my airdrop here that I qualified for 2,258 Sparta tokens, that's $24,000 off of $400. these are just figures, and that's what this is for. You can kind of estimate the prices based off the market cap. And even if you do, 400 USDC, and that's like your final position, then you come in here and it's at 28 cents, then you just earned yourself a free $100+, like a 28% on your money. If you looked at it that way, on the pessimistic side, I believe this market cap is going to be much larger than a $1 million market cap. So I don't know that this is, actually how it'll play out. But if you play with this ticker, you can kind of see that estimated price based on market cap. And I think that these ranges between 27 to 50 million in a bull run are definitely doable. And that could set you up very well if you get involved in this lock drop. So I'm excited about this, as you can see. And I think that whenever you're looking across the space in the Arbitrum ecosystem specifically, I think that there's a lot of good projects, but this is one that I think has the hype, it has the product, it has the utility with the Sparta pad, with the DEX, with the LPs, with the land level up, the game side of things. And then now with the gamified yield already starting with this lock drop, where 6 million Sparta tokens are up for grabs in phase 1. I think it's a good opportunity to get in early on this ecosystem, put away a little bit of money for potential to, who knows, you could potentially net a good amount off this airdrop. So shout out to anyone who got involved early on this. If you don't know, I host the shows over on Crypto Banter too. Go check those out. We've talked about this project for a few months. So I wanted to present this to you in a full-fledged video so you can make your decisions. Always do your own research. Nothing I ever say here is financial advice. But like I said, I think the risk reward here speaks for itself. If you just put away a few $100s, you could qualify yourself for a pretty solid chunk of the Sparta airdrop. And if we head into a bull market, I think that this product could really kick off. And I think the Arbitrum community has gravitated towards it enough for me to be super confident that this should play out nicely. So guys, like the video, subscribe for more. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts on the Arbitrum ecosystem, on SpartaDex. Are you bullish? Are you bearish on the gamified DEX style projects? And let me know your thoughts on the Sparta token and if you're participating in the lock drop. So guys, I will catch y'all on the next one. As always, peace.